Hello and welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tehrani. Thanks for watching us today. We're in San Jose all week speaking with the best and brightest companies in Silicon Valley. On our program is Clark Peterson, the CEO of Telesphere. Clark, how are you?
Great. How you doing, Rich?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being on the program. I thought we'd start off with just a brief overview of Telesphere.
Okay, sure. Telesphere is a company focused solely on cloud-based business communications. So we've been around 10 years, and this whole time really focused just on the cloud and been evangelizing the cloud before the cloud was so popular. And we're focused on voice and data services. And now, this week that we'll talk about is video services from the cloud.
So have you seen a lot of growth and interest over the last couple of years just because the term has gotten so hot and just the interest in cloud has grown so much?
Yeah, we've seen substantial interest and substantial growth in our company. Over really the last 3 to 4 years, we've actually grown over 50% a year the last 3 years, compounded annual growth rate. We've raised over $50 million out there during very difficult times. And so,
congrats.
Yeah, thank you. And we see that it really is a great interest in the cloud. I think people who are close to the industry and now consumers are seeing that there's just a real power to integrating services in the cloud, and we've seen substantial growth as a cause of that.
So in terms of your potential or your client base and how they look from if you just try to divide up who your clients are, what sort of vertical markets do you get clients from?
Okay, that's a good question. It's evolved over really the last, we've been around 10 years, but really over the last 5 to 6 years has really when we've seen all the growth. And I would have said, 4 or 5 years ago that it's SMB market, but over the last 2 to 3 years, most of our customers are more mid-market to large market customers, more enterprises. And
I would have guessed SMB also.
Yeah, and really what's changed is the real power of cloud-based services has very much resonated with multi-location customers. So majority of our customers have 20, 30, 40, 50 offices around the country. They've been used to having to get their services side from multiple service providers and then go and get their hardware from multiple hardware providers. Really what Telesphere does is now brings that all together in the cloud, so they have one provider for all their services, and all the part that used to be hardware is now a service, as hardware now becomes a service, whether that's hardware on the PBX side, whether it's hardware that was once video hardware, that's all now in the cloud and offered as a service that's integrated with your other voice services.
So in terms of markets, there's no like dentists or lawyers or anything like that. It's just run-of-the-mill, medium-sized companies.
It's mid to large, and multi-location is a sweet spot. But as far as verticals, I think some of the verticals that we've focused on and more product driven, where certain products that we've come out with have really resonated with those different verticals, are the legal industry. We have a lot of fixed mobile convergence abilities, and so we do things like call recording off your cellular phone, right? If you're an attorney, billing, come back to your office, have a recorded call with the time of it, who the called party was for billing purposes. So a lot of that, a lot of call center activity, a lot of medical health industries. We just this week actually putting together or installing a very large hospital, all on a wireless deck phones there as the end device.
So are you seeing more competition from other cloud vendors or just the CPE companies?
We feel, and by the numbers we see, we're one of the largest. We feel we're in the top 3 hosted providers in the country, and we don't run into as many business-focused, cloud-based business communications companies like ourselves. Really, most of our competition that we run into is the traditional way of providing voice and data services. So I look at my competition as who has my future customers, and most all of the customers that we are transitioning to this new cloud-based services are coming from the traditional LEC and CLEC, traditional TDM services.
Really? Okay. So what's next?
I think as we look at how this has all changed over the last few years, really the power of the cloud is just coming out right now. As you we launched our Video Connect product here just this week. You'll see another larger release on it next week as we unveil our different partners on the Video Connect side. But it really harnesses the power of the cloud, where now products like video, which were really primarily geographically based by certain rooms that you might have been, or hardware based by what kind of equipment you use, now it's video bridging in the cloud, where it doesn't matter whether you're on a mobile device or whether you're in a room-based service system, or whether you're you know, on a PC. They'll all be tied together. They all have the ability to have HD voice and HD video tied together, and it's over private cloud, so that you have the security of a private cloud versus a public internet connection. And so it's the ubiquity and the user-friendliness of a Skype, but on a true carrier-grade, business-grade, secure system in what we call the private cloud.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for being here today.
All right, thank you, Rich.
Great to see you.
Good to see you.